My name is LV, music producer, creative, everything dope. We at the crib. They used to send me home, tell me I'm fired, and I'll just come back to work like they didn't tell me that. Like they'd be like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Working." It's like, "We fired you. That was yesterday." You know what I'm saying? Like it was kind of like what are we gonna do with this nigga? Like, yo, get the like, alright, man, like. Like, you know, and it was like a situation was like, I was like, so you gonna call my mom and tell her I'm fired? You call her then, call her. Like, tell, like, you know what I mean? It was like that, like. Being down with Terror Squad, like, just for no reason, you had to know how to drive, just in case. I used to always be like, what are we doing? It's just like, you just have to know how to drive. Like, you know, so you have to be able to get busy because you gotta get out of there sometime. Like, shit get crazy, like, you know what I mean? Like, it don't, in all situations, whatever you do, it shit get crazy. Like, you can't have a nigga behind the wheel that don't know where he going. Like, get the fuck out of here, nigga. I used to drive around with Pun in the Bronx in a Benz, just me and him, and I had to learn how to like operate the stash box. Like, it was just like, why do I have to have this information? I really just want to do music. And the wild shit is like, Pun used to fall asleep, right? As he's telling you directions. So he'll be like, yo. So you think if you drive it, and be like, take a left. And you be like, alright. So you like, where do I go from here? He be like, and you be like, oh shit, like I feel like he just always woke up at the right time, but sometimes he didn't. And then you just had to figure out, like, just pull over. I heard Remy do her Annie Up verse. We went to the studio, like we went with Remy to to go lay her verse. I think me, Sean, and I want to say Sunkiss was there. I can't really remember, but and so like Buster's in the room, fucking Fame, and Billy's in the room. And so like this is before she go in the booth and she like spit the verse and I'm like, and she's like, I wish I could bring Pun back. I'm like, the fuck? And I'm like, cause you're like, you know, Rem is my sister, so it's like, it's kind of like, I'm like, oh shit, she is fucking bodying this shit. Like immediately, like I've always, like, even though she's my sister, I'm still a fan. Like, you know what I mean? So I just like fanned out like, oh my god, she is about to kill it. And knowing that's like a part of like you, like, you know what I'm saying? We coming up together and like, and she killing, like, yo, I swear, Billy Dance, like them niggas, everybody in the room went crazy. Like, niggas was going crazy, like when, I don't know if y'all ever, like, y'all listen to MOP music, which is wild crazy. Them niggas be like, fire! They be screaming and shit. Them niggas was doing it, and I was just like, oh my god, you see Buster going crazy? I'm like, oh, like, but all this shit is just happening right in front of me. I'm just like, oh my god, I can't wait to go back and tell my niggas what the fuck is about to happen. Pun was working on Still Not a Player, which one of my mentors and Sean, my mentor Nobody, produced that as well. But I remember Pun being in the control room. He's like, all right, so this part's gonna go Boricua, Morena, Boricua, and I'm just like, oh shit. Like, I'm still in high school, and I remember having my school clothes on. Like, I cannot wait to go to school fucking tomorrow. Like, I'm gonna tell these niggas this shit is happening. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I was lucky too. Like, it wasn't like niggas was like, you bugging, L. You wasn't, like, niggas knew I was like really doing what the fuck I said I was doing. So it's like my niggas would be like, I'll be at the lunch table. And my niggas like Yannick and my niggas like Eric, they'll be wild excited for the stories and shit, because it's like, yo, nigga, Pun is about to like drop the fucking remix to this shit, like, nigga, and it's gonna be fucking crazy. Kind of early in the game, and that happened. I feel like I learned when the business was business when I got to hang around Puff. That's when I got to learn the business was business. He taught me that first. It was just a couple. It was a couple, like, you know, just seeing how he handled situations and seeing how like people handled different situations. And at that time, like, I was becoming more of a producer where it was kind of like people are like wanting music from me. So it's like, you think you cool with niggas, and then it's like, oh nah, this is just straight business. He tried to do that. Try not to like offer you no publishing or like he's like, nigga, you crazy? We did that. Or like, and I'm not saying Puff did this. It's just my different experience. But I remember when getting down with Puff, that's when I started to realize, because it was more, he was more of a businessman, and just shit was just happening around the industry where
That world.
yeah, just being in that world. D-Dot Angeletti, Derek Angeletti, having him as one of my mentors, because he's a producer, he's a, you know, record label executive, and he's done everything that I've like pretty much wanted to do, and I had him at an early age before I knew how to do it. So he would just tell me a lot of things as far as like what's a good deal, what's a bad deal, and like kind of like break shit down to me, because it was like, you know, like you don't know what to ask your lawyer, so you need to kind of like, yo, what do I ask a lawyer? Because you go be like, you just know you need a lawyer, and you're like, well, what the fuck do I ask him? Like, how do I talk? How do I communicate with my lawyer? And so what should I, you know, so D-Dot, Sean, I mean saying just D-Dot, but like Sean was also one, Sean C was also one, nobody, pretty much a lot of people that I've been real grateful to have a lot of good mentors and big older brothers. Getting the pool is freedom for me. Getting the pool is everything. It's like taking a chance. It's getting the pool, yeah, it's freedom. I love being in the pool. And I just wanted to create something that felt like my energy. It's happy, sexy, dope, like, you know what I mean? So it's about, you know, taking that chance, jumping in, being free. Don't stay on the fucking sideline. Go for yours.